Today on DC On Screen, we've got a little bit of Aquaman news, a little bit of Suicide Squad news, and a whole lot of Elseworlds and Swamp Thing news. Are you ready for this? Jason, you ready?
Yeah,
you
sure.
Good?
Yeah. I'm not distracted at all.
Right after this.
You think of Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe, but a multiverse, where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next. Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Dave here. Jason and I recorded this episode on the afternoon of November 10th, Saturday. In this episode, you'll hear us say that this will be Jason's last episode for a week or so, as his daughter is due on the 12th. Well, tonight, the 11th, 11/11, I received word that she decided to drop in a day early. 7 pounds, 7 ounces, at 8:38. Evelyn, welcome. The future will be yours. Someday. For now, episode 516 of DC On Screen. And dear listeners, please send Jason and Evie your love. Blow his phone up. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
You alright, man?
Yeah, I'm okay. We're recording in between naps today.
We've got one more pre-Papa recording, looks like.
More. This is it. This is the one.
Oh boy.
I've got about 24 hours before due date. We're napping in between contractions right now on the other side of the house, so we have time to record a bit.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, guys.
And then
Exciting
I will
times
likely
for Jason.
be out for a couple weeks.
To experience your own postpartum depression.
Right. That should wear off just
All
about
right,
in time
so-
for Aquaman.
Yeah.
I mean, by my estimate, life should be starting to kind of normalize around the time that I can maybe take off that night to go watch that, so we're good. That timed well.
Yeah. But, you know, if all goes well, I'll be around for you guys. Don't worry. So if you would like to support us, you know, you can go over to iTunes, give us a good rating and review. It really helps depending on who you ask.
Yeah, most
Certain-
yes.
certain-
Some no.
Yeah, you know, a lot of, certain people in the podcast community seem to think that it's a joke and it doesn't help anything. But, I love being a part of podcasting groups on Facebook
Yeah.
where I get to be told that I'm stupid for saying things
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of
on
fun.
my show.
It's a lot of fun. And
All right, so-
a lot of the statistics people talk about with podcasts are almost mystical in a certain way. So it's kind of like different Wiccan groups yelling at each other about how much sage they used. It's
Well, what's fun is, like, in the podcasting groups, it seems to be like there are these guys who've been doing it since, like, 2007, and they all have very strong opinions, and, like, they just go throughout the entire thread, like, reacting with that asshole laughing face if they disagree with you
yeah.
or disagree with anybody else. I really don't say much in those groups. I'm like, nope, I need to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, just keep your head down. It's fine.
So anyway, we have our own Facebook group where we don't do that to you. Over on Facebook, the DC On Screen group. We'll put a link in the show notes. All right, let's get into this news.
Shoot.
James Wan posted on his Instagram, after 2 years of consuming and devouring my every waking hour, this little indie movie is finally done. It was a monster undertaking. I can't thank enough the amazing post team of VFX, editorial, sound for working tirelessly around the clock. Crazy long days, 7 days a week for many, many, many weeks without a day off towards making this a unique and beautiful film. So Aquaman's done.
Mm-hmm.
He says that everyone poured their heart and soul into it. He can't wait to share it with us on the 21st of December.
I saw that. I chuckled at the indie movie thing. That was.
You excited about Aquaman? It's almost here.
Yeah.
A distributor in Australia, Vertical Entertainment, they're saying that the final running time is going to be 143 minutes.
143 minutes, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, as we always recommend, don't drink water.
Yeah. So you expect me to sit there for 143 minutes watching a film about water?
Apparently so, yeah.
Dude, around 70 minutes, you better have about 4 minutes of flat time that I can bounce out. Oh, it's going to be rough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I have time. You can apparently order catheters now that are delivered to your home.
Right.
I think that's something you can get on Amazon.
As an aside, you know that bit in the trailer where she says you do your best thinking when you're not thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
How much you want to bet that that's going to be like the key to beating the bad guy at the end of this thing?
I can buy that.
Feels like one of those lines.
I can buy that. And it tracks with me. Like, I remember pitching in Little League, where, like, the more I tried to put a ball where it was supposed to, where I wanted it to go, the harder it got. Sometimes I would just turned everything off and thought, hey, go there. And, just went through my motions and willed it there. It actually went there better.
Mm-hmm.
Try to force it. It was what we'd call it back in the day.
No, you're not supposed to force it.
Don't force it. It's good life lesson in general.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's a long run time. I'm going to complain about it because, we all have bladders, and I'm speaking out for those people. But I like the long run time, and that feels like it's some confidence in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can dig that, and I mean, the fact that they're already finished, it sounds like confidence right now.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to. I feel like they would have to make it over 2 hours just to like wash the Justice League Sujihara stink off of it.
You'd think, but it's gotten to the point where no matter what I think, I feel like I'm part of a subgroup and someone else is going to think differently. So to me, it plays like... Sure. To me, it does play like that. Hamada's saying, no, let them make their film. We'll figure it out. We tried the let's cut it 30 minutes version before, and we saw how that works. So do what you want to do on, and it better work out. Which is about as good as you can expect as a director. Is like, hey, you do whatever you think you need to do, but it better work. That's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I mean, yeah, there are consequences if it doesn't work, but there should be to some extent.
Yeah.
But we're not going to end up with a Whedon cut and Snyder cut and all the hashtags we could dream of. Maybe we at least don't end up with that after this.
Here's the thing. That actually leads into my next story. Our buddy Anthony, Brooklyn Batman on Twitter, wrote a tweet this week and said, yes, because, look, the test screenings have been coming back very positive. People have been saying a lot of good things about Aquaman. Anthony says, yes, I know, quote, test screenings mean nothing. Quote, people love Suicide Squad in early screenings, blah, blah, blah. I'm choosing to be positive. The word on the Aquaman screenings seems to be good so far. I'll take it. And David Ayer responded to him.
My first thought is you poor bastard, but go ahead.
Oh, no. David Ayer said, don't you wonder what edit was initially tested?
Oh, perfect.
And then the guy that's always giving those little scoops on Twitter, Daniel RPK, responded to Ayer and said, I was there, so I know what you're talking about, David, and I really liked your original cut. At this point, I think the only way for Hamada to truly get goodwill is to release the Snyder cut. Release the Ayer cut, for God's sake.
There's another 13 minutes on the DVD that made it a better film.
That's not the Ayer cut.
I know, man. That's the Trailer House cut.
It's
the extended Trailer House cut, but still, I don't know.
I honestly think it's the only way for Warner's to buy back a little bit of the goodwill. I think it's worth the however many millions. I really do. Just my opinion. If it was me in charge, I would do it.
The Ayer cut is probably...
That would be the first thing I said to do.
All right, Justice League Snyder cut, I still say is going to be hard to actually do. Just because it's not actually finished. But the Ayer cut might be finished. That might be more mountable as a project.
I think they're probably
It would be
roughly in the same vein, roughly in the same stage, but
I don't know, because Ayer seemed so confident until like about a month before is where it seemed like he just bounced on it. It seemed like, and also he was attached to the project, till day X when it was actually out. But man, yeah, like that might be more doable than Snyder's cut right now, and it would be a good proving ground. Put out that version of it, see what happens. Yeah, I do too, but
that's seriously where I'm at. Like, if I were in charge, that's the first thing I would say to do. Like, all right, well, you're in charge of the DC films. What do you want to do? All right, we're gonna put out the Ayer cut and the Snyder cut. But I mean, do you know how much? Yeah, I don't care. Let's take this random ass thing that we were gonna make off the schedule and just put whatever money into that. Just like let's we've got to earn back some goodwill, man.
yeah.
But I understand there are issues with that, but I don't care. I
get it.
Anyway,
I think the Ayer cut's more approachable though.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have a problem with that if they released it and it worked and it got the goodwill you're hoping for, and I don't think it would cost them as much as a Snyder cut. Yeah, sure, Go for it.
Absolutely. I forgot to mention it earlier, so I'm going to mention it now.
Hit it.
One of these stories is fake.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the appropriate news segment, we'll let you know which one it was.
Right.
Let us know if you figured out which one it was. So over to well, it's not really TV yet. That's why it's in the middle here. Fathom Events is going to be doing a double feature presentation of The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen.
Nice.
Nationwide, it's going to be January 13th and 14th. So it's going to actually predate the release of the digital copy of Reign of Superman on January 15th. I look forward to reviewing all of those movies and catching up because I really want to watch this.
Yeah, me too. We've been a little behind on that. I'm only probably
certainly
3 movies behind. I think you're more.
I'm more. But as far as reviews, we just put out our Flashpoint review.
Yeah.
And that was the last one we did.
As far as our actual reviews, we are years behind.
Yeah. We might start just doing news every other week and focusing on a review or something.
Yeah.
Once you get back in the saddle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was excited about this. They over on the Elseworlds crossover, they added Bob Fraser as Psycho Pirate.
I don't know who he is. Hold on.
He's not been in a whole lot. He was like an angry parent on an episode of Supergirl.
Bob Fraser.
Fraser. There's no I in there, so.
There he is. There you are.
I think he looks the part.
I think of that guy as just a dude in a mask, so I don't think I had any real expectations, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I just, when I think of him, Psycho Pirate is one of those, his costume was so ugly to me that, when I remember him, I specifically remember him, in the rubber room screaming about the worlds.
Yeah.
Worlds lived, worlds died.
Right.
He's just, some dude with light hair screaming into the abyss.
That'll do. I'm actually just... I don't care. I'm way more excited that there is a Psycho Pirate.
Right.
I honestly don't think I care. Oh, yeah, he'll do. I don't think I care who actually did the role. I really don't.
Yeah, I think my big takeaway, my big excitement point is that there is just a Psycho Pirate.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason I like that there's a Psycho Pirate is that after all of the craziness of the worlds colliding and all of the Elseworlds part of the Crisis storyline, he remembers. He still remembers all of the versions of everything. So whatever they're going to use to thread this universe together, where the Elseworlds will still kind of affect the Arrowverse as we know it, that's a good conduit. It fits with me for the books. I like it.
Yeah. I never thought I'd see, when we started watching Arrow, I never thought we'd see Psycho Pirate and Monitor. What?
Definitely not Monitor. If you saw Psycho Pirate, it would be a weird kind of one-off villain for a couple weeks. He wouldn't be a bad villain for Arrow. Turn all of everybody's emotions on their tail end kind of thing. In a way, I'd kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, if it was on
Arrow running
first...
around being happy for a couple weeks and Felicity being pissy for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Could be fun, but
I feel like if he had showed up in the first couple of seasons of Arrow, he would have just been like on vertigo, and like as he overdoses, he mumbles "worlds lived, worlds died," and that would have been it. Like
maybe. And it was really just that like he had like a huge Minecraft obsession that he was never going to get back to, or something like that.
Well, sure.
Yeah. Or maybe because it doesn't have any copyright problems, like a huge D&D guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can afford that. Just looking at the crumpled pages of his characters dying, it would be like real and gritty and not nearly as fantastical as it's gotten now. And I love how fantastic it's gotten now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Have you seen this Superman and Lois Lane picture? The big first look of them together.
I have not.
I guarantee you've seen it before. You just don't know it because they've got them in what looks like the Fortress of Solitude. She's wearing like the white gown, like Margot Kidder from Superman 2.
Nice.
It's all very, very Dick Donner. And, at the risk of being a heretic, I'm so tired of Dick Donner.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get it, and I like those movies, but they're not the only version of Superman, y'all. I'm just, it's gotten to the point where it's like, look, fan base, look at how much we love the property. We love the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman. Look at our homage.
It cracks me up how much you hate being catered to.
I'm not being catered to.
I know, but that's what they think they're doing.
I'm being pandered to.
Yeah. Like you would make a terrible, like 500 years ago European lord. Just the worst.
No, but look, man,
I don't disagree with you. It just cracks me up.
It bothers me that we can't get like the one time we got a Superman who didn't like pander to us over this Christopher Reeve, Dick Donner shit is Man of Steel, and it wasn't even like I have my own issues with Man of Steel. The fact that it was not Dick Donner's Superman was not one of them.
Yeah. You had like end story problems with Man of Steel, and a lot of them are valid, but that was a damn good movie.
Mm-hmm. And I enjoy it more now than ever I have. But there are Goyerisms within that story that it made, and a couple of Snyderisms that bother me. Like I can actually, now especially now that I know certain things about that movie,
right? And
like Goyer and John's going, don't do the snapping of the Zod now, okay?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem. People who listen to this show or have listened to this show for a long time know that I don't mind that he snapped Zod's neck.
Right.
If we were gonna have a problem with that, he shouldn't have killed Zod in Superman 2, your beloved Dick Donner's Superman 2, and he wouldn't have, and John Byrne wouldn't have had him kill the alternate Zod. My point is,
and going back as far as Adam West killing people by kicking them
sure
into the antimatter universe.
My point is, the mainstream doesn't know that Superman has ever killed anybody, and they just like to not remember that part of the Dick Donner verse.
Right.
Which I guess by that point was technically the Lester verse.
Yeah, I don't think it's willful
in some regards.
For a lot of people. I really don't. But it's there. It's just...
Yeah, it's there.
It's precedented.
So, but I mean, I get it. We've grown up on cartoons that say that Superman doesn't kill, Batman doesn't kill. Never mind all of the evidence to the contrary in comic books and television.
Yeah.
I mean, film, I should say.
Yeah.
So...
both of them being non-killers is just a take on it.
Mm-hmm. One universe and a multiverse.
Right.
But it does bother me that their like go-to is just like, yeah, but Dick Donner, here's... there are things that I would definitely grab from the Dick Donner stuff. Like the, crystal in the Fortress of Solitude. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that all the Fortress of Solitude is crystal. And it's cool that... it's cool to me that, like, the Kryptonians would have this, like, sterile existence. But, like, when you look at it through the prism of Superman, he brings a certain beauty to it, like, with his point of view. Like, that's, like, the entirety of existence, It's,
right.
Like, Kryptonians see things as sterile and cold, and Superman brings something to it.
So the whole point of his character is he's got all this power and he still sees optimism. It's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, for what it is especially just a one-shot out. I know they're going to, now I know, in the Elseworld at some point we're going to see that callback, and, it'll be a callback.
Maybe, or maybe that's just a promotional picture that was just meant to, make us happy.
In that case,
Or like...
In that case, we're probably overreacting, frankly. If it's just...
We might be overreacting.
If it's just a one-shot to say, like, hey, since we had these two people here, look what we did. Then, yeah, it should just...
And it's funny, like, I have seen pretty much two reactions to this. One, my reaction, which is, can't we please get over this and stop pandering to people over this Richard Donner shit, which I like, but it was the 70s. It's time to let go, guys. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. Or just a bunch of Twitter users, murmuring and cooing over how much she looks like Margot Kidder. And that's annoying to me as well.
But okay.
I don't either. Oh, she looks just... Oh, this is like this, a reincarnation. No, it's not. No, neither one of them look like the other. I don't care I don't care how klutzy you make Tyler. Mm-hmm. I don't care how many white robes you put on Lois.
Yeah.
These people do not look like those other people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am very much in favor of a new take.
We're going to get it. I've seen enough set pictures that, they are probably also responding to the fact that you saw Superman in a black suit earlier.
Maybe.
So they don't want the conversation to go too far one way or the other. So putting this out kind of says, yeah, well, maybe he's black suit guy for a second, but he's also going to be this guy at times. So we'll just, and it's a 3-hour movie now. So
right.
We got plenty of time to deal with that.
Did you see that Amel was posing with Colin Donnell?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Amel was wearing his Flash costume from the crossover, and right there next to him is Tommy Merlin, man.
That's awesome.
Just saying. I don't know what it means. What does it mean?
Yeah.
But Amel's been doing a lot of that crap lately. On Instagram, he also posted a picture of himself with a large brown Great Dane that had a blue collar.
Nice. And
the caption, "Rutrow, who do we have here?"
Of course. I saw him the other day post, how did he put it? It was something about he got out of the shower and realized that you could see him through a certain window, and then looked over and there was a group of women across the street in another window. Mm-hmm. And just kind of said something along the lines of like, yeah, I think I just realized a bunch of women were watching me shower. You're welcome.
Wow. So how do you feel about Scooby-Doo being a part of the crossover, though?
There's supposed to be a lot of Elseworlds. Why not? We just talked about Richard Donner back to back with, back in black soups, so why not?
Yeah. Well, Greg Berlanti was talking to the Hollywood Reporter, and he said, yes, Jensen Ackles was on set. Yes, Supernatural just did a crossover with Scooby. So he said Steven could release that picture. He's taken like 300 pictures with that dog this week. We figured it would get out there eventually.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the other picture of him like walking around set, looking at people, looking at names, and then just like he throws a drape over one seat and goes like, "Secret."
Yep.
You told me about that one.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Berlanti says, screw it. Yes, we're doing a Scooby Gang Elseworld, and Velma becomes Batwoman after Freddy is killed by a rodeo clown.
Sure.
And according to the article, he says he then stormed off camera, muttering something about Amel, Instagram, and how there's no wonder left in the world. So,
well, he's right.
I'm down. There is no wonder left in the world. It's probably better that came out because if you were in the middle of the crossover and then all of a sudden, friggin' Scooby-Doo comes out, like I think that would pull a lot of people out of it if they weren't expecting it.
Yeah, there's going to be a nope factor there.
Yeah, but Everett Wheeler, man.
It's true.
Everything is 100% probable.
Yeah.
In a multiverse. So.
Yeah.
Over to Swamp Thing. The Power in It Chapter 2 star Andy Bean has been cast as Alec Holland. The man who, well, if they go by the comics, will basically die, and then a bunch of swamp
material
pieces will believe a bunch of swamp material would then think that he used to be Alec Holland.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is
Yeah, and
how
we've
much
already-
does that remind you of like the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Until you just said that, and now I'm trying to piece it together.
Just get licked by a bunch of cats and suddenly you're a Catwoman. Bunch of green things decide you're elemental and suddenly you're there. Like,
so you're saying Alec Holland gets like blasted with chemicals, dies, and falls into a swamp, and then the swamp would be Michelle Pfeiffer
that could work.
because the swamp believes it's Alec Holland. So,
Right.
so Alec Holland licks the swamp with his dead body.
Yes. And completes
Okay.
the picture.
All right.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that was where we're okay.
It's a thing DC has done several times where like you die and fall into something and then you become that thing.
I feel like that's, yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure
DC does that.
where that's on the
DC,
trope board, but it's a trope.
yeah, DC, you get hit with chemicals and fall into something. Marvel, you get hit by some sort of radioactive rays
Yeah.
and become something, or get hit with a radioactive isotope, or bitten by a radioactive spider.
Right. And in Marvel, anytime you need to have someone have a power, you can always just say, "Oh, their genetics were unleashed by this."
Mm-hmm.
They've done it in DC several times too. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all great. There was a fun thread on Facebook where
Not
someone
knocking
was
on
like,
any of these things. It's fine. They're devices.
Yeah.
We all use them.
There was a fun thread on Facebook in one of the like the DC groups that I'm a part of, and someone was like, I don't know, it seemed almost argumentatively challenging people to like come up with the last character that wasn't derived from another character that Marvel and DC has done, and I'm just like, dude, I mean, there's the Greek gods. I mean, like,
Yeah. Hold on. I want to let's approach this question another way. Name me the first.
yeah, I mean, if you like, there were even in the like creation of Superman, there were creators' notes that were like mentioning certain Greek gods.
Yeah. Or at
like,
least
there's
Moses.
just-
Like
Yeah.
we're a couple hundred years past a new idea at this point in storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum. I mean, people way more educated than me could probably make a guess that we're much farther than that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to really come up with a genuinely new thing.
Yeah, and I can be a dick and go DC created most of the shit that Marvel rips off, and that's kind of true. But really, they were like Greek gods and stuff, and myths, and so much more that DC just kind of grabbed.
At the time that it was happening, it was more of a matter of like who printed it first, not who thought of it. Because really, you were just it's the best advice in writing that you will ever hear is still smart. I mean, you're not going to come up with anything that's genuinely new because
No.
Really, man, if you look back, it's hard to find something that is that. It's just
And what's
hundreds
funny
of
is,
millions of, honestly, just at this point, billions of pages of printed fiction. You can't beat that. You just find a thing that feels new, find a new fresh take on it, and make it yours. That's the only thing you can do.
And you can sit around and try to write fresh too. Like when in the past, we haven't done it in quite some time, but in the past, we used to make comedy sketches. They're all still on YouTube. I did one called Cal's Codpiece Emporium.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a local commercial, a guy selling cod pieces, like specialty cod pieces.
Every kind.
I
We've got
thought it was
every
a pretty,
kind.
I thought it was a pretty unique idea. Made me laugh. I recorded it. I shot it and everything. I was Cal.
Yeah.
And I got people who were sending me links on Reddit because I'd posted it on Reddit. I got people sending me links to it was a couple of guys in front of a green screen doing their own mock of a local commercial. And, God, who is it? It's those guys that do the Old Spice commercials now.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember. But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't heard their name in forever.
But apparently they were internet people. I don't know. But yeah, like I was being accused of ripping them off, and I'm like, I don't even know these people. I've never seen this shit. And the premise is kind of similar, but they're not selling cod pieces. Like they didn't come up with the local commercial. Come on, like. But yeah, there's no. Even if you just come up with something by yourself, you're not going to like. It doesn't mean that you're ripping somebody off. It just means, hey, wouldn't it be great if somebody ran fast?
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
you can try all
like
you want.
Hermes.
Someone's already thought of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mercury.
Right. Oh, you mean that's already been thought of twice in two pantheons?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Jay Garrick literally wore a Mercury hat? Like, he has a Mercury hat. They're not even trying to hide it.
Dude should have gone crazy long before he did with that hat.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on. Deadline has confirmed that Will Patton is going to be General Avery Carlton Sutherland on Swamp Thing. They're describing him as the de facto patriarch of his Louisiana hometown, always giving back to the community. His benevolent veneer, however, masks a ruthless determination to harness the power of the swamp for profit. Mustache twirler alert!
Yeah.
He's been in Armageddon 24, Remember the Titans. He was in this new Halloween reboot that came out a few years ago.
I've seen that face before.
Mm-hmm. He was Quentin Glass in the Punisher movie as well. He's also in the comics, according to the article.
Okay.
Written as the article. Wrote it. I will now say this. Sutherland in the comics serves as the CEO of the Sutherland Corporation, which has ties to Alec Holland's work with the biorestorative formula. Sutherland becomes intrigued with what exactly happened to Holland, employing a scientist named Jason Woodrue to do an autopsy of sorts on Swamp Thing in the iconic The Anatomy Lesson issue. So we know Woodrue becomes the Floronic Man. We also know, of course, the brilliant John Glover played Jason Woodrue in Batman and Robin. And
his ill-fated character.
His ill-fated character who creates Poison Ivy. I did, on Twitter, I suggested to DC Universe that they give John Glover another shot.
Absolutely.
As Jason Woodrue. He did like the tweet. I am proud of that.
Yeah, naturally. He's on board, apparently.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, John Glover, like, he's great. Like, go watch Smallville. Easily one of the best parts of that show.
Oh, yeah.
Just every scene with him and Lex is just gold. Any scene with him is gold.
Yeah. His arc is amazing.
Yeah, so when you see him in Batman and Robin, he's easily the most fun part of that movie.
Yeah.
He is just hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
I would like to see him do a serious take on the character for real. Let's do this, guys.
Oh, yeah.
John Glover. Legacy casting.
I mean, you could just have him play the character he did in Smallville on this, and and rename it, and it'd be fine.
You could. Might not be as much fun.
Yeah, a little bit of camp would be more fun.
He's got range.
But yeah, he's clearly got range. The dude can play serious. He was haunting at times.
All
in
right,
that show.
so Swamp Thing also adds Henderson Wade as Matthew Cable, and it's a series regular role, according to Deadline. They're describing him as a Louisiana lawman who finds himself in dire straits when supernatural evil threatens the town he's sworn to protect. I just kind of almost went into, I just sort of naturally went into a Zap Brannigan cadence with that.
Right.
Louisiana lawman finds himself in dire straits.
Yeah.
Supernatural evil threatens the town he's sworn to protect. Kiff, alert the men. There's a swamp thing.
Yeah. My first thought was we already have a Spectre. Can we just shoot him over and they be teammates? Seriously, I'm trying not to, and I'm excited about Swamp Thing by itself.
I am too.
But every time I hear something,
excited.
I keep thinking, man, it'd be great if Matt Ryan joined that for a second.
Oh, absolutely. So this guy, Henderson Wade, he's currently portraying Sheriff Michael Mineta over on Riverdale.
Yeah.
He was also on American Horror Story Roanoke, if any of you watched that. I don't watch it. I don't know anything about it.
I hear good things, but
actually, I saw that in the story, I didn't
know there was a Roanoke arc.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
You know what they need to do is American Horror Story White House. I'll leave that right there. Stargirl has cast Angelica Washington. They're not saying who she is. The actress has been in Shameless and Young Sheldon. Jeff Johns says Angelica Washington is a bright, funny, and unbelievably talented actor, and I'm thrilled to have her join the cast alongside Breck. And then he says we're withholding the character she's playing for now, but it'll be one familiar to DC Comics fans.
Nice.
I'm excited dude, Titans is so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. every...
Like, the one big misstep...
I'm curious.
I feel...
I'm curious.
Oh. I feel like the one big misstep so far that Titans has taken was in the Doom Patrol episode.
Really?
It was a cool episode, but the guy that played the chief was just all wrong. He was just terrible, I feel. Obviously subjectivity is a big part of this, but I am glad that they replaced him for the actual show.
They may have made him too obviously villainous for your liking.
It wasn't that. He was he was like a cartoon of a mad scientist.
I was going to go with, yeah, all right, so some mustache twirling is what you're saying?
I wouldn't go so far as to say mustache twirling.
Short of mustache twirling, but is there...
Like, I'm used to the chief being kind of a terrifying mad scientist. System? But, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That might actually be pretty good. Like, that's a good way to put it. Like, I just feel like he was a little over the top.
Okay. In
a way that I just wasn't prepared to deal with. Like, I feel like that dude was on a different show.
Okay. Yeah.
That dude thought he was doing Young Frankenstein or something. I don't know what he thought he was doing.
The rest of the cast seemed to be perfectly aware of it, and damn, it was a good episode.
Yes, it was.
That show really has been killing it.
Absolutely a good episode. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Jeremy Irons is confirmed as Ozymandias from Watchmen for the HBO series.
I can't put this strongly enough. Hell, yes.
Yes.
Yes to the yes power.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Gene Smart from Legion is also joining the show.
Ooh.
Do you remember Gene?
No. Who's that?
The blonde-headed lady who's married to Jermaine Clement on the show?
Oh, her! Yes.
Yes. She's playing a mysterious FBI agent named Agent Blake, which is, interesting, saying as how her name's Blake and the comedian was Edward Blake. You think she might be like the old Silk Spectre too? You think she might be?
It's possible. But, man, that's just exciting. I have, in my lifetime, which my lifetime includes designing women, have never been disappointed with that woman.
Fair enough.
Not one moment where I saw her and thought, oh no.
She did a fine job. I felt like in season 2 of Legion, she got a little off the rails, her character.
Her character did, but purposefully, and she pulled it off.
She did pull it off. I just also kind of felt like, what are we doing here? But, I get it. She's been through some shit.
Yeah.
It just was not the most interesting storyline for that show to me.
No, they had a lot going on. Sometimes
they absolutely did.
Honestly, sometimes it feels like when you don't necessarily know what you're going to do for a character for a portion of the show. Sometimes, she has a drug addiction. It'll keep somebody occupied for. It's like benching somebody for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and she's suddenly on her ass until we decide she's not.
Right. Until she needs to be useful, and then she'll drag herself out of despair.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know. That show is deeper than admittedly I can understand.
Yeah, honestly, it's Legion really does require about 2 rewatches before you're completely sure you saw what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, you have questions.
Yes.
For that, I deeply love it.
Mm-hmm. I did quite enjoy it. Well, that's it, man. That's all I've got.
Oh, all right.
By the way, there's no Scooby-Doo in the Elseworlds crossover.
Yeah, that was complete crap.
It was fake. Fake news.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As they say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, much luck to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm back to reality now.
I kind of feel like...
It was fun for a minute.
I feel like, in a weird way, I feel like this is your last episode.
Well, sure. Certain ways.
You won't be coming back as the same man.
If I do, I think I did it wrong.
Nah, it'll be all right. We'll see you in a week or 2.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine.
There's a couple weeks of stealing 15-minute naps ahead of me, and then we'll be back.
Mm-hmm. But in a few days, couple of days, 2 or 3 days, I'm going to do a review of Batman Mask of the Phantasm with my wife. She's never seen it. We're going to go to that movie theater. They're screening for Fathom. And I kind of want to get a good take of what someone who's never seen it, who's in their 30s, thinks of the movie.
Yeah. She's going to cry.
Maybe.
We all know there's that
I don't
one
know.
scene.
I think people who aren't us don't cry at cartoons.
Maybe not. But she's going to get like...
And I say cartoons because that's how they see them. That's how the normies see them.
Maybe. But Mask of the Phantasm is a very adult cartoon in certain ways. I don't think you can watch the one scene that you know I'm talking about and not have some kind of feels. I don't know if I trust you if you don't have some kind of feeling about it.
We'll see, man. I don't know. I'm trying to be open about that. I'm a little worried.
That may be one of those things where, like, if you didn't feel something, I'm not sure I can leave you alone with my puppy.
I don't know if it's that deep, but I kind of feel like it is.
It's a damn good scene.
But this will be her first actual foray into the Bruce Timm Paul Dini verse. So
that's a good one. Like, she could go back and rewatch everything and really get all the context and the subtle flavors that go into making that. Or you could watch that and it stands.
Yeah, in a weird way, I feel like Mask of the Phantasm almost acts as a pretty good pilot for Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, it does work backwards, I think. You could watch that, especially, again, the scene we're trying not to spoil for anyone who may not have, because why not? Especially that scene. You go back and watch that and think, man, that means a lot more now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad you can't come.
Yep, not an option. Enjoy it for me.
I'll try. I mean, I'll be like 15 minutes in that movie, grin across my face, going, Jason who?
It'll be alright.
Nah, you'll be missed, man. You'll be missed. So anyway, I'm excited because I never got to see Mask of the Phantasm when it was in theaters. So
yeah, that was kind of a you had to be there kind of thing, but new wave of people
for the
get
week
to
it was in
go
theaters.
Out. Yeah. You had to be on top of it.
But I mean, I've more than made up for it. I've got it on digital, VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray.
Yeah, you it's definitely represented. But I think I was in like second grade at the time. I didn't have. This is what we're doing with our Friday night capabilities in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't happen.
I hear you. It was around Christmas time. It was in the before time when there just wasn't enough money to go to a movie theater.
Yep.
Nah, wasn't happening. Anyway, we got to take off. I'll try to keep it up with guest hosts until you're back.
I'm going with a week or two.
Yeah. It's got to be rough.
Yeah. It'll normalize. We'll be okay.
DCOnScreen.com. We tweet at DC On Screen. Go into our show notes. Follow the link. Come hang out with us on Facebook. We won't make you feel like a piece of crap.
Nope.
It's going to be the tagline. DC On Screen. We won't make you feel like a piece of crap. Unless you like the Nolan movies, and we might. I don't know.
You can't tell anymore, but we will try not to.
We've had people message us go, damn it, I like Dark Knight Rises. Why did you ruin it for me?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm still sorry. I wanted to like that.
Me too. Anyway, keep some DC on your screen.
See you in a minute.
Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David C. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Future Elevators, can be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Effie Ophelders of the fantastic podcast Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud. It can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We are proudly in partnership with TV Time, TV show calendar and social media site that lets you keep track of what you're watching, what your friends are watching, and where you all left off. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, an improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.
Are you